welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today we are doing a 2-page layout using the Jen Hadfield Warm and Cozy collection, one of my all-time favorites, I think. I just recently picked up multiples of pretty much everything. So I wanted to kind of dig into that since I have some fall pictures here. So I picked out this red background, the plaid, because one, it was on the more on the plain side in the paper pad, and then two, my son has on a red shirt, so I thought it looked good with that. And so we were going to use that, and I think I was looking for something to place in the background, but before I started this layout, I had cut out these leaves here from my Cricut, just using Cricut Design Space. Sorry, I had to think of what it was actually called. And so it came in a wreath, like a leaf wreath. And so what I did is, the second page of this layout, the background is all leaves, different colored leaves. So I kind of went with that color scheme and chose the colors, and then just, yeah, cut them out with light colors for the second page. And there you can see my iPad with Cricut Design Space. So I was looking at that when I placed the wreath. And then what I did is I kind of wanted to layer it, and so I cut a second set of the leaves, but I alternated the colors. So like the acorn at the top is red. I didn't want another red one, so what I did is, you know, I just kind of went backwards with what colors I had used. And so I found that piece of brown. I thought I wanted to layer the second set of the leaves on top, so I found that brown paper in the 6x6 sheet to back the picture with, and then I wanted it to kind of pop, and so I found a piece of white scrap and used that to kind of make it pop. So I double backed the picture there. And to be honest, so I wasn't thrilled with this first layout. After I had completed it, it just kind of looked plain to me. So I actually thought about tearing it all apart. And bless my husband, when I told him I was going to tear it apart, he asked to see the layout. And so I showed it to him. And so what he suggested, I had thought about already. So what you won't see, I didn't tape me doing it, but I just free-handed like the veins and the leaves. The close-up at the end will kind of show you that. So as you can see, there's nothing on the leaves right there in that shot there. But I have the Warm and Cozy stamp set, and so what I did is I looked at the leaves on the Warm and Cozy stamp set, and they were like leaves, you know, the maple and oak and stuff. They were like the ones on the stamps. And so I kind of just looked at how those veins were and then free-handed it. And just that little bit there kind of just turned my whole thoughts around on the layout. It just gave it something extra, and it wasn't so plain. So you can see me kind of trying to figure out if I wanted to kind of layer the whole wreath, or if I wanted to kind of use them in a different way, and I decided to layer them all. And so I think that's why it just kind of looked so plain. It was just kind of layered on plain leaves, layered on plain leaves. And so I'm just really happy with the way it turned out now. I did think about, I have a sewing machine that I got from Tuesday Morning. I have not yet pulled that out of the box. So I thought about stitching it, but because I have never done it before and I haven't pulled that out of the box yet, I decided to save that for another project. So just a pen it was. And so then I went in the 12 by 12 paper pad and found these cut aparts, and I decided to use the one that said "Together is my favorite place to be." I mean, it just fits, honestly. Being with my family is, I mean, there's nothing better, to be quite honest. My close family, my extended family. So I thought that was just perfect. And then it kind of just blended in, and I wanted it to pop a little bit. And so I just backed the cut apart with some of the green, or not green, sorry, the orange, same color that I used for the leaves there. I like to use as much of the paper as I can, so I used that. And what I'll do sometimes, I think you see me do it in the second page, but like the cutouts on the 12 by 12 paper, if your 4 by 6 picture fits over top, it's a perfect way just to use as much paper as possible. Nobody looks at the back of the picture, so they don't know that there's a big leaf missing out of, you know, the back. But it's just a way just to utilize as much of the paper as you can. And so I think you'll see in the second page that I do that. But that cut apart wasn't quite big enough, you know, to cover up any of the leaves. So yeah, so that's kind of how I use my papers. And then just, I thought I cut this out, sorry, I'm just gluing it all down, making sure, you know, the layers are on top. I did move, I think that bottom left leaf, I think I moved down. It was covering up too much of the picture, I thought. For whatever reason, I just didn't like it. So I did move that one down a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, everything else is where it was stuck down first of all. And so you saw me pull it up. So sometimes it's hard. I have a scrapping easel. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's kind of like an easel. It's magnetic, and you can have your layouts kind of laid out up off the table for you. But with videotaping, there's no way I could videotape it on it. So sometimes, you know, just holding it out in front of you gives you a different perspective than just having it laid down on the table. So I do that quite often, to be quite honest. And then I knew I wanted to layer some leaves behind it, so I did pop that cut apart up off the page a little bit. And then I have the sticker sheet and the chipboard here that have lots and lots of different leaves. I thought about this flower, but it just kind of looked out of place with all the leaves. There's too much white. I guess I could have fussy cut the sticker a little bit, but I chose not to use that. And I just decided to use a bunch of leaves and layer them on kind of at the top of the cut apart a little bit. One thing I'm still trying to kind of work on is, whether it be leaves, flowers, how to kind of layer them all, I guess, to make it look the most pleasing. So this one here I did pop up off with the foam stickers. You know, I chose all the different colors, and then I did use one chipboard piece. I could have used more because, like I said in the beginning, I have multiples of all of them. And the chipboard, I actually have 3. Oh my goodness. It's kind of embarrassing to say because it's like hoarding, but I have 3 of the chipboards and 3 of the sticker sheets. And then I did get 2 of the 12 by 12 paper pads. It's just such a pretty fall collection. I just love it so much. So yeah, I definitely stocked up on that one. We do a lot of fall activities as a family, so I knew I would use it. I love it, so I just grabbed multiples. So there you can see I kind of held it up again to see what else I could do. I am looking for, I had previously looked through some other sticker sheets. I have I don't know, Simple Stories Forever Fall. You can see them right there. sticker sheets, and there was this fall banner that I had seen previously. So I was trying to find, you know, where I had found that, because I have so much fall stuff. So that really completes the first page, besides the free-handed, you can kind of see it there now because I started the second page the next day. The free-handed like veins on the leaves, if you want to call them veins, I don't know what you want to call them, but I just feel like it made the leaves pop a little bit more, and I liked it a little bit more. This one here, I did look at a sketch. If you've watched my last couple of videos, you know I've kind of been in a slump, so I decided maybe a sketch would help me out a little bit. I did flip-flop it from side to side. That yellow sheet, actually I got out of my scraps. It was not the Warm and Cozy collection, but I did like the color and it matched really well, so I did use that. And then I layered this long strip over top, more leaves, and then that really is the background. So here's where I use the paper and I back the picture over top of the leaves. It doesn't always work because sometimes the cut apart is bigger than your picture. But like I said earlier, it just helps use as much of the paper as possible. I don't like to waste. So if you see my scrap drawer, there's like every scrap left over from every project is still in there. But it just, yeah, like I said, it just helps, especially, you know, if you don't have a lot of the same color, it just helps utilize it. And then when I'm all done, I kind of trim it to put it back in my scrap bin. You know, I trim the excess off that I won't use in the future, and that's how I kind of store it. But yeah, this pretty much finishes the layout once I tape everything down. It's not crooked like that, but so I'll tape everything down. I think in the sketch there were stars, but it's just nice knowing that, like, if you know what pictures or papers you're going to use when you're looking at a sketch, you know, you can obviously kind of change it for what works for you. Like I said, the dark strip and the yellow paper were supposed to be on the left-hand side of the paper, but for me, I wanted it on the right side because it was a two-page layout, and this is the second page. And then instead of stars, I use leaves because obviously I have lots of leaf stickers. So it's just nice to kind of use a sketch to get an idea, but then change it a little bit for what works for you. So just making sure everything is straight here. And then once I place the pictures down, the sketch actually had washi tape at the top of the picture as well. Just kind of make it look like the washi tape's holding onto the pictures. So I really honestly like how this one turned out. And what's funny is I had saved this sketch on Pinterest a while ago, and I did this layout last week sometime, and then over the weekend I got together with family, and my aunt and I decided to scrapbook. Well, she's like, I think I'm gonna follow a sketch. So she got on Pinterest and she's like, oh, I like this one, and she found the exact same sketch that I had just completed in this page. So I thought that was kind of ironic, because I mean I went back to my board to find an idea, and that's how I found it, and then she just found it, I think, on the main page. So I just thought that was interesting and kind of ironic. But then you'll see me put 2 pieces of washi tape here, just because it's kind of thin, and I didn't want you to be able to see like the leaves behind it. So I just doubled it up, not the same size, doesn't really matter. So I kind of like that look, kind of rough and grungy, so to speak. So then I'm just kind of looking for the leaves or how I want to embellish. I don't know that the sketch had anything right there in between both pictures, but I kind of wanted something down there. So I found this chipboard flower embellishment and placed it there. And then I do add, I don't know if it's now or later, but I do add some enamel dots. I have a bunch of them, and I have a bunch of fall colored enamel dots too, so it just worked out nice. And then going off the sketch, I kind of just placed the leaves where they had the stars, and then just kind of added to it to kind of make a cluster. So I added an acorn there. The bottom right has 2 leaves and an acorn, and then the top I just left with the 1 leaf. And then once I add these enamel dots, that finishes out this layout. So kids are back in school now, so hopefully I will get a lot more layouts out for you guys. But I do appreciate you guys subscribing, watching, liking, and commenting on my videos. And we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.